Hey, welcome back. It's Poetry Friday. I'm going to read you a poem by Kathryn Nuernberger. This poem is entitled Translations, and I just found it, and it completely blew me away and surprised me a lot. So, it's so much different than it at first appears. Translations. I want to believe we can't see anything we don't have a word for. When I look out the window and say green, I mean sea green. I mean moss green, I mean gray, I mean pale and also electrically flecked with white, and I mean green in its damp way of glowing off a leaf. Scheele's green, the green of Renaissance painters, is a sodium carbonate solution heated to 90 degrees as arsenic oxide is stirred in. Sodium displaces copper, resulting in a green precipitate that is sometimes used as insecticide. When I say green, I mean a shiny green bug eating a yellow leaf. Before synthetics, not every painter could afford a swath of blue. Shocking pink, aka neon, aka kinky pink, wasn't even on the market. I want to believe Andy Warhol invented it in 1967, and ever since, no one's eyes have been the same. There were sunsets before, but without that hot, shocking neon Maryland, a desert sky was just cataract smears. I want to believe this. The pale green of lichen and half-finished leaves filling my window is a palette very far from carnation and bougainvillea, but to look out is to understand it is not. To understand what it is not. I stare out the window a lot. Between the beginning and the end, the leaves unfolded. I looked out one morning and everything was unfamiliar, as if I was looking at the green you could only see if you'd never known synthetic colors existed. I've drawn into myself, people say. We understand, they say. There are people who only have words for red and black and white, and I wonder if they even see the trees at the edge of the grass or the green storms coming out of the west. There are people who use the same word for green and red and brown, and I wonder if red seems so urgently bright pouring from the body when there is no green for it to fall against. In his treatise on color, Wittgenstein asked, "Can't we imagine certain people having a different geometry of color than we do?" I want to believe the eye doesn't see green until it has a name, because I don't want anything to look the way it did before. Van Gogh painted pink flowers, but the pink faded and the curators labeled the work white roses by mistake. The world in my window is a color the Greeks call chloral. When I learned the word I was newly pregnant, and the first pale lichens and just speckled the silver branches. The pines and the lichens and the chill drizzle were glowing green, and a book in my lap said chloral was one of the untranslatable words. The vibrating glow pleased me then, as a finger dipped in sugar pleased me then. I said the word aloud for the baby to hear. Chloral. I imagined the baby could only see hot pink and crimson inside its tiny universe. But if you can see what I'm seeing, the word for it is chloral. It's one of the things you'll like out here. 19th century critics mocks painters who cast shadows in unexpected colors. After noticing green cypresses do drop red shadows, Goethe chastised them. The eye demands completeness and seeks to eke out the colorific cycle in itself. He tells of a trick of light that had him pacing a row of poppies to see the flaming petals again and figure out why. Over and over again, Wittgenstein frets the problem of translucence. Why is there no clear white? He wants to see the world through white-tinted glasses, but all he finds is mist. At first, I felt as if the baby had fallen away, like a blue shadow on the snow. Then I felt like I killed the baby in the way you can be thinking about something else and drop a heavy platter by mistake. Sometimes I feel like I was stupid to have thought I was pregnant at all. Color is an illusion, a response to the vibrating universe of electrons. Light strikes a leaf and there's an explosion where it lands. When colors change, electromagnetic fields are colliding. The wind is not the only thing moving the trees. Once, when I went into those woods, I saw a single hot pink orchid on a hillside, and I had to keep reminding myself not to tell the baby about the beautiful small things I was seeing. So hot pink has been here forever, and I don't even care about that color, or how Andy Warhol showed me an orchid. I hate pink. It makes my eyes burn. This poem tears your heart out. It starts out with a scientific discussion of color and art, greens and pinks, in their vibrant, beautiful way. And yet, then we slowly get hints that something is more complex here. There's a line a ways into the poem that seems to creep out of nowhere. "I've drawn into myself," people say. "We understand," they say. And at first, we might just gloss right over that, because, oh, maybe the character's just really obsessed with paint and art, and so is no longer having as much time for other people. But then we get into that relationship between the mother and the child, the unborn baby. The connection between the child in the womb and the mother is beautiful and remarkable, and here she is sharing this love of color with this child, even though the child can't see all of the colors yet, until we come to discover that she's lost the baby. And so the whole poem becomes something so much more than just an exploration of color. The entire time it's as though she's avoiding the true topic, which is her grief. And the color's green, which represents life and vividness, and the color hot pink, which is something synthetic and fake and false, become more symbolic in this context. I love how her attention to detail and how her exploration of color is so rich and so vivid and so alive, and it transforms into something so heartbreaking by the end of the poem. Really, this is probably one of the saddest poems I've read in a while. And it immediately made me want to go out and buy a whole book of hers. Thanks for watching. You can click to subscribe or to watch another video, and I'll see you next week with another poem on Poetry Friday! Maybe not as sad of one. I'll try to pick something lighthearted next time. See ya.